This week, we take a closer look at the art of adventure touring. Recently, this segment of the motorcycle market has expanded by leaps and bounds, thanks to many new websites, blogs, and schools now dedicated to adventure riding, along with the development of high-tech adventure touring gear, and of course the introduction to the market of touring tools such as Honda's Veradero and Yamaha's Super Tenere, just to name a few. Recently, while down in South Carolina, we crossed paths with adventure riding expert Warren Milner. Milner had just retired after 26 years from Honda Canada's motorcycle division, a role that allowed him the luxury to both work and ride all over the globe, including most recently adventure tours such as a solo run north from Toronto to Alaska, and south with a pile of contest winners to peruse South America. When it comes to adventure touring, no one knows more tricks of the trade than Milner. So we asked him, "Hey, Warren, what are your top 5 adventure touring tips?"
Given your 45 years of riding and some of the real adventure stuff you've done lately, what are your top 5 recommendations?
Well, as you said, Dave, adventure riding really has taken off, and adventure riding is not necessarily, but often includes very long days in the saddle. And I would say most of the advice I would give people would be related to sort of making that experience more comfortable, more enjoyable, and allowing you to enjoy the overall experience without being annoyed by little inconveniences or little discomforts that, you know, detract you from the experience. So the number one thing I'd say, and this is going to sound a little strange, Dave, is don't wear underwear.
Okay, everybody, ride commando. No, you said long days in the saddle. I knew we were going somewhere here, right?
The issue with underwear is, you know, the 2 traditional types of underwear that people would wear, so boxers or briefs, you know, the age-old thing.
Right.
Neither of them work very well in long hours in the saddle. You know, ideally, what you want is a set of like high-performance skiing underwear. They have it now that it's not necessarily warm, but you want something breathable. You want something that you can wash and will dry quickly. Right. But something that's one piece, no seams, nothing at all, you know, just that, and between you and the seat kind of thing, and your riding gear. Right. And that'll make a huge difference.
Now that stuff can be a little on the expensive side, but this is going to lead into number 2. I know we talked about this earlier. Clothing. Make the investment, right? You should invest in some good gear. Exactly.
I have a suit that the whole suit ended up costing me $4,000, which is what some people spend on motorcycles. But realistically, it makes that much difference. You know, if you're going to spend, again, remembering these high quality, high performance suits, they'll last for years and years and years. And the suit I have is breathable. It's completely waterproof. It's completely windproof. And so basically, you know, you zip it up and you go on your ride. You don't stop, you know. It's not one of these things, oh, it's starting to rain, I'm going to get out my rain suit, take my boots out, you know, you just keep going. It gets hot. It has quite a wide temperature range, you know, there's vents in it, and, you know, and there's good sort of flow through it when you have the vents open. So I can't stress that enough. It makes all the difference between being comfortable and being just miserable. Okay, and you mentioned part of that of, you know, losing time, putting on a rain suit can really add up over the course of the day, which leads into what you have as number 3, which is the helmet, because it's all about making up time or staying on time but not losing time, right? Every little bit helps. So for example, I wear a flip-up helmet, so I don't even get off the bike when I stop for gas. I just pull into the gas station, put the credit card in the machine, pump the gas, I have the helmet flipped up, I'll take a little water bottle off, I have a little holder that I keep it under the dash, I'll take a drink of water, and then I'll go again. And people always say to me, well, Warren, don't you even stop to pee? And I go, no, you see, you got to be careful how much water you drink, because you don't overdo the water either if you're just trying to make time. Okay, so we're going to stay ahead of time, we're not going to lose time. You said pack light, number 4. Pack light, why that? Well, pack as light as you can, especially if you're going off-road. You know, weight is sort of the enemy of motorcycles, and the more weight you have, you know, the worse the bike's going to handle, the worse your fuel economy is going to be. And especially when you get off-road, it can be a real handful, especially the way most bikes are laid out, where the weight's fairly far back and fairly high. It can really make the bike squirrely off-road. So you want to keep the weight as light as possible. And you want to make sure that the heavy stuff, if you're carrying tools, for example, which a lot of adventure riders have to do, or spare parts, you know, things like that are heavy, you want to mount them as far forward as possible and as low as possible.
And finally, number 5, plan. Have a plan, you said. That seemed pretty obvious to me, but
well,
maybe
yes
not.
No, because, you know, a lot of people sort of focus on, you know, should I do it? You know, and really the only motivation you need is, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to go to this place, or at least in this direction, and everything else will fall into place after that. But leave the spontaneity to that part. Once you've kind of figured that out, okay, I'm going in August and I'm going to Alaska,
right?
Then you need to start doing your research, and luckily with the internet now, it's so easy. You know, there's things you need to check. Where are the gas stations? You know, what's the wildlife up there like? Is it safe to camp? Is the water safe to drink? You know, these are the things you need to find out. These are things you don't want to figure out when you're up there.
Right.
The more prepared you can be for what you're going to find when you get there, the more fun you'll have, the more things you'll see, the more places you'll go.
Wow, some great advice there, Warren. So what are you waiting for, folks? Get out there and ride.